Hey everybody, it's Chris Wilson. Welcome to the mini course edition of the Reinvention formula. In this section of the course, we're going to talk about reinventing who your customer is. But before we get started, I was thinking of a book this morning, and that is Think and Grow Rich. And I know if you're an entrepreneur, if you own a business, you're like, I've read that book. And I've read this book. I think everybody I know who owns a business has read Think and Grow Rich. It's a great book. If you haven't read it, you should go out and read it. First time I read it as a young person, I thought some secret was going to be revealed to me. I thought there was going to be this big reveal, or here's the one thing you need to do. And that's not really what the book is. It's really a philosophy book. He talks about thoughts and he talks about ideas. And then at some point, he goes through pages and pages of questions, things that are supposed to make you think. And so when we think about the reinvention formula, there is no big reveal. I am not going to reveal some secret at some point. The reinvention formula is about changing how you think about your business, how you think about your customers. So this is really a course about thinking. If you want tactics, things that you can do, I actually have another course. It's a book called Marketing During Tough Times, and there's a companion course. And I go through 56 ways that you can market your business. And it's geared towards increasing sales and making more money. And they're actually things that I did. So I actually wrote the book for me so I could think of ways to move my business forward, and I turned it into a course. So this is a more tactical approach, things that you can do. Reinvention formula, more of a thinking course, rethinking things and challenging your thoughts and challenging your ideas. So we're going to get started now with the course. All right, so we're ready to talk about reinventing who your customer is. So we're going to start with your ideal customer, your best customer. And that can take a few different shapes and a few different forms. It could be people who simply spend the most money in your business. It could be people who are your champions, your promoters. They bring you a lot of referrals. They're always talking up your business. They could be the customers who stick with you the longest. Or they could be the people who you just like to see, who remind you why you got into business in the first place. So, or whatever else you consider your best customers. So in my case, it's typically my top 20%. Nothing against the 80% of the other customers who come into my business, and we'll talk about them in a minute, but there's that 20% that really sort of take care of everything for me. In my case, I own a performing arts school. I've mentioned this before. Music lessons, art classes, dance classes, theater classes, all sorts of groups, all sorts of ages, all sorts of levels, age 2 through age, retired people in their 60s or 70s, I guess. All levels, people who are serious, people who are amateurs, and all points in between. But our best customers are kids who see music as part of their identity, dance as part of their identity, theater is part of their identity, art is part of their identity. Now you might say to yourself, well, how can an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 14-year-old have like an identity connected to performing arts? And I'll tell you my own personal story. I will never forget the first time I heard the Rolling Stones. It was in 1975. So I would have been, about 8 years old, and it was a TV commercial for their concert tour. They were coming to play Chicago Stadium, and they showed a black and white clip from the 60s of the Stones playing the song Get Off My Cloud. And it was just this moment where I was like my mind was blown. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Get Off My Cloud is still one of my favorite songs. And I thought, oh man, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And I never lost that connection I have to music, specifically to rock music, I guess to guitar music. And to this day, I'm still a guitarist. If people ask, what do you do? Despite the fact that I have this business and my performing arts school, I tell people, well, I'm a guitarist. I'm in my 50s now, and I still see myself as a guitarist. I still wear my hair kind of long. I try to dress cool. It's become my identity, and it's been my identity or something I've aspired to do since I was like 8 years old. So in my business, I look for people that have that excitement, and that's what I need to recreate with my clients. And I talk to my employees and my staff about this. There's this excitement that has to be recreated. Now, this identity pays off in our business because when this COVID hit, the kids who saw performing arts as part of our identity hung in there. that, oh, okay, we'll do classes online, we'll wear masks, we'll do whatever. They didn't care. They were just so connected to being a musician, to being a dancer, to being a singer, to being a theater person, that they made whatever adjustments were necessary. They didn't complain. They just went with it. Most of our other customers immediately started pulling back. I'm not sure. I want to stop immediately. I want to put things on hold. I want to see where things are at. Those are the people who left us. Now, I hope they come back. I have certainly no animosity against any of these people. But in the previous video, I talked about what we were doing just wasn't that important to them. So what I need is more of those 20% that see music as part of their identity, that see dance as part of their identity, who will be inconvenienced or will take a new approach, or who are open to new ideas because music is such a strong part of their identity. So that's where I'm coming from. So now in the next section, we're going to talk about how that works strategically in your business. Okay, so in the last video, we talked about identity. My best customers are people who see music as part of their identity. So it's something that people are connecting to my business on an emotional level. It's not something concrete, and it's not something everybody would feel. So that's what we're trying to uncover in your business. And so I'm going to give you a personal example for me, and that's when I get my haircut. So a couple blocks from where I live, there is the cheap haircut place. I can get a haircut for $5, and they'll just go in, and I'm in and out in probably 15 minutes. But instead, I drive to Chicago, which is 25 miles away, and I have to pay for parking, and I spend $100, but I leave with a great haircut. I look great. This guy does an amazing job. So why would I do that? Why would I drive all that distance, spend $100? Well, I'm in my 50s. My friends are bald, going bald, or gray, and I, for whatever reason, still have great hair. So I'm motivated by vanity. People say, oh, you look so much younger, and it feels good. So it's worth $100 for me, and the inconvenience of driving to Chicago versus just driving a couple blocks. So I would not be the ideal customer for the $5 haircut. So there is a market for that, though, right? So who gets the $5 haircut? Someone who has bad hair, who doesn't really maybe care about their hair, or they wear their hair really short. It could be like parents. You got a bunch of kids, get them all haircuts. It doesn't matter how bad they look. Someday you can look back at the family photo and go, wow, 4 kids, 4 bad haircuts. People might honestly not have the money, or if they do have the money, they're spending it on something else. And all those are completely valid. So at this point, we are going to get into the worksheet portion of our videos. And then after that, I have a quick case study to help you guys think some more about reinventing the business. Okay, so see you in a minute. Okay, welcome to worksheet 2. This is where we think about reinventing who our customer is. So here's some questions to get you thinking. Who was your customer before the outbreak? Who's your customer now? Why did your best customer buy from you? Why are they still buying from you? What are those customers getting on a deeper level? When we look at people who stopped using your service, why did people stop buying your service from you? And what were they really buying? And here's my answers. Who was your customer before the outbreak? My customers were people who wanted to learn performing arts, play an instrument, dance classes, art classes in a 3-mile radius. Who is my customer now? My customer now are people who see performing arts as part of their identity. They can't live without it, no matter what. So why did my best customer buy from you? Because performing arts was part of their identity. It's who they are. They can't live without it. So why are they still buying from me? Because they can't imagine their life without it. The fact that there's inconveniences and Zoom lessons, all that stuff, it doesn't matter. They need to see you. So what are they getting on a deeper level? They see themselves as a creator or a performer. They connect to the arts on a much deeper level, a way that most people wouldn't connect. So people who stopped using my service, why did people stop buying my service? I wasn't that important. Sad to say that. They weren't willing to adjust to the new reality. Many people didn't even try. They said, oh, this is terrible. We're just going to stop for a while, see what happens. So maybe those customers were scared. What are they really buying? They were buying a fun activity, something to do. But they had a lot of fun activities. We were probably just one stop of many. on their schedule of after-school activities. So take some time, work through the sheets, and see what you come up with. Okay, so a quick case study. We're going to look at the home fitness industry. So home fitness means a couple things. One, not paying to go to a gym, and two, not maybe wanting to go to the gym. And so there's a new product that for home fitness that challenges some of these principles, and it's called the mirror. And it's essentially a mirror that you hang up in whatever room you want to work out in. And when you turn it on, it brings the experience of going to the gym or going to a fitness class to that space. It's this full-size, almost virtual gym experience. So you're not staring at a computer screen, you're not trying to balance your laptop on a chair, or you have it on the floor. It's pretty cool what they're doing. Now, they're reinventing who home fitness is for, because it's really meant to replace the gym. It's expensive. It's a $1,500 price point, and then you also pay a monthly fee to have access to the classes. So when you check it out, and I would suggest go to the website, The Mirror, it feels like it's a step forward, and it feels to me like it's the next evolution in home fitness. So check that out, and maybe that'll get the wheels turning and get you thinking about some new ideas in reinventing your business.